I've got so many things to do, but I just can't stop thinking about this one thing, and it's so annoying. I know that I am overthinking, but I don't know how to stop. And then I keep finding myself reacting to those thoughts, and I get myself worked up into this state. How do I stop? What are the 10 best ways to stop overthinking? In this video, I'm going to tell you, so keep watching. Hey everyone, my name is Keshav. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I make videos on how to be less lost, stuck and confused in life so you can build a meaningful life where you master your mindset and achieve your potential. So if you're interested in these things, make sure you subscribe down below and you support me by ringing the bell icon so you know when new videos come out. So how do you stop overthinking? In this video, I'm going to share 10 of the best ways that have worked most effectively for me, my clients, and for many other people. So these are really proven ways. And they're also things that most people overlook. And the first one is playing an instrument. I know it sounds completely random. I know when you're overthinking, you're thinking, well, I need to do something related to that. Maybe I need to write something down. But actually, playing an instrument moves you from one mode of thinking, which is logical, which is all about being in your head, moving into a different sphere and part of your brain entirely, where you're using your hands, you're using your breathing perhaps, to express yourself in a completely different form. A lot of the times when you are overthinking, it's because of a feeling, it's because of a fear, a doubt, an anxiety. And what music allows you to do is to change those things into a completely different melody, no pun intended. And if you don't play an instrument, go learn one. Go try something new, because that's going to give you a new challenge for you to focus your mind and attention on. The second tip, and this is related to my video on how Serena Williams went from a place of being depressed and overthinking to having a breakthrough. So click on the link in the description or in the info card over here and you can go check that out. But one of the things that she did when she was at this low point of postpartum depression is she called people. And not just any people, she called epic people. You can't do epic things with basic people, and this principle applies here too. Now, you could phone someone who similarly is just as anxious or just as overthinking, and it might be good to speak to them because they may have a lot of empathy for you. But you could also call somebody like me, or a person who inspires you, or a person who you look up to, or somebody who's going to give you a fresh and different perspective. So get on the phone and phone people, not texting, not voice noting, but literally FaceTime. Get your face in front of people, because that's where so much of the communication and the beauty of interaction lies. When we share something with someone else, you and I both know that it helps lessen the anxiety and the worries that we have. And just by thinking out loud, by giving yourself some time to actually think, you'll find that your worries and your anxiety will go away. The third tip, and this is something that doesn't actually require you to do anything, is go to a positive place. A mandir, a temple, a church, a mosque, a beautiful walk in nature, an inspiring view of the sunset or sunrise. Go somewhere positive. Go to a coffee shop, go to a really nice corporate office nearby, or go to another city. But move, go out of the physical location you're in and be inspired by a new environment and some new surroundings. How much of your town or city have you actually explored? Have you been to all of the parks? Have you been on all of the nature trails that are out there? Because when we are in nature, we are affected by nature. We are inspired by nature. And we're reminded that we are a force of nature. We are not disconnected from those things, but we are interconnected with that world around us. And by just putting yourself in these positive places, your mood is instantly lifted. Imagine trying to overthink while you're at the gym, or while you're in a library, or while you're in a coffee shop surrounded by other people. Is it less or more likely than when you're at your home with the lights off and you're sat in front of the computer looking at your ex's Facebook profile? because that may be the source of your overthinking. So switch things up. Number 4, and this doesn't involve doing anything either, but just looking around in your environment, in your life, and blocking out negative people and negative stimuli. What is the reason you're overthinking? What is the cause of that anxiety? Is it a particular relationship? Is it something that has happened to you? And what are the triggers around you? If it's your weight and you're not happy with how your body looks, get rid of all the junk food in your house. Don't keep the packet of crisps or potato chips and glasses of Coke and all this other crap on your desk. Get rid of it, hide it away, put it away. If it's a particular person that you're speaking to and that's causing you to worry and overthink, delete their number from your phone. Even if it's just for a little while, but reduce the negative triggers and you'll see immediately that you'll ascend higher and higher. And point number 5, I want you to look at your worries, your overthinking, like clouds in the sky. Sometimes they come thick and fast, rumbling with thunder and lightning, and it affects everything. It disrupts everything. And everything is full of chaos and turmoil. The wind is blowing everything around. But then the next day, what happens? A new season comes. It's clear, it's calm, it's quiet. And think of your mind like the sky, that these are just clouds passing by. They may feel like they're real, but if you put your hand into a cloud, there's nothing actually there. It's just fog. And sometimes it's thick, sometimes it's thin. And again, notice that it arises and it passes, it arises and passes. It will come and go in waves, just like this episode of overthinking. And the second thing as part of this I want you to realize is you are not your thoughts, but you can choose them. You can't control which thought is going to appear, just like clouds in the sky. But you can choose, like the clothes you wear every single day, which ones you want to select and focus on more. The grass is greener where you water it. Number 7, if I told you you could borrow the mind and the thinking of someone far more positive, a Navy SEAL, a champion tennis player, one of the world's best authors, a former president, what would you say? Now, what would you say if I said you can do that anytime, anywhere, for just a couple of dollars, or even for free? What I'm talking about is audiobooks, the power of audiobooks. One of the things that I do is as soon as I wake up, my alarm is set to an audiobook so I can hear the thoughts of people like Michelle Obama, David Goggins, and others who have written amazing books on mastering your mindset. So that for that 8 or 10 or 12 or 16 or 20 hours that you are listening to them speak, you're borrowing their thoughts. And the way I like to look at it is that I'm not just reading a book, I'm spending personal one-on-one time being mentored by that author, where they've conveniently organized every idea they've had, everything that's worked for them and people they've worked with, and organized it into a convenient book with chapters and systems. And all you have to do is, if your own thinking is going AWOL and you're thinking too much, is borrow theirs. The next one is exercise. There are so many benefits, but one of the biggest is that it depletes the level of cortisol in your body, and so that you have more dopamine rushing around your system. When you're running every single day, when you're swimming every single day, when you're doing any kind of physical activity, you move from the mind to the body. You're not focusing on thinking, you're focusing on the next pass in that game of soccer. You're focusing on the next lap, holding your breath underwater. Your mind has to focus on something else. And so if you're overthinking and you're getting stressed out, a really easy way is every single day exercise. It's not just physiological benefits we have from exercising, but for our brain, our hearts, and our mindsets too. The 9th one, I'm not even going to spend too much time on this because it's obvious, but how much sleep are you getting? Are you sleeping 6 hours, 7 hours? And how much sleep do you need? If you want to find out how much sleep you need, a really good rule of thumb, a really good test, and this is going to scare some of you, go to bed without an alarm. And maybe you got to do this on the weekend, but test your natural rhythm. There is something known as the sleep chronotype, which means that you're genetically predisposed to a certain circadian rhythm. In short, the way that you sleep and the amount that you sleep and when you're alert and when you're not alert, it has some influence from your genes, your genetics. So get to know what your pattern is, what your rhythm is. Are you more focused in the morning or in the evening? And how much sleep do you need? For me, I know I need 7.5 to 8 hours. And even just half an hour of sleep debt every single day for a week, it becomes cumulative, and the effect is similar to being drunk. So if you're overthinking, maybe you've been taking too many shots, and I don't mean alcohol, I mean sleep debt, because the effect is similar to that level of intoxication, and we are very, very miserable at accurately reporting how much sleep debt we really have. So try it. Go to bed without an alarm clock and see how much sleep your body really needs. And a final tip is write. You may not have people that you can call on. You may not have access to Audible or audiobooks. You may not have access to the things, or you may not be able to do all of these things every single time. But one thing I know you can do is write. Get your thoughts down on paper. Just capture them like fishes in the ocean. So right now you have this massive school that are swimming around everywhere, bombarding your clarity and your mental peace. By capturing them, putting them down on paper, at least you're not worrying in here and thinking about them again and again and again and again. But you can analyze them. You can look back at those thoughts a year later, a week later, and ask, is it really true? How do I react when I experience that thought? Is it the feeling that bothers me, or is it the thought? And where does the thought come from? You might not be able to afford a coach. You might not be able to work with the greatest mentor, but you can write things down and you can coach yourself. You can guide yourself to finding your own answers. So there you have it. Now tell me in the comments below, out of the 10, which one are you doing already? And which one do you think is going to be the most useful? It's not rocket science. There's nothing new in this list, but the reason that it's the case that we keep coming to the same answer again and again is because the fundamentals don't change. You don't need another secret hack on how to master your overthinking problem. You just need to apply 1 or 2 of these things consistently, and trust me, your life will begin changing. So 90% action, 10% thinking. In the comments below, decide, commit, tell me in black and white, what are you gonna do? Because you can think about the 10 things I showed you, or you can go away and do them. And then you can report back to us in the comments, in this community, how you got on. It's not like there's millions of people writing in the comments. I respond to each and every single one. So tell me which one was the most useful. And as always, absorb what's useful, discard the stuff that isn't, and add what's uniquely and truly your own. I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you're interested in finding out which of the 3 personalities you are, check out my free quiz, and otherwise comment and subscribe and like and share the video. Help me out, support the channel. Peace.